Jessica, I'm getting chills right now before we even begin, because honestly, what you've done with this film is just outstanding. I saw it with my mom, and we both just looked at each other at the end. We were in a theater, and I looked at her and I said, wow. So that was my instant reaction. Honestly, we cried, we celebrated, we felt everything. I know you've been wanting to do this for 10 years. Tell me where this story started for you. How excited are you the film is here, and how proud are you now that it's going to be seen?
I'm so excited. I'm really nervous today, though. So thank you for saying that. I woke up this morning like just with my stomach in knots because it's the day people are going to see the film. And it started for me almost a decade ago when I saw the documentary, and I was just surprised, to learn about this woman, separate from like all the drama and the media sensationalism that I'd kind of grown up with, but to learn the true story about her. Especially the Steve Peters interview it like knocked me out. And it was important for me to introduce her true story to a new generation of people. So I'm nervous, but fingers crossed other people have the reaction you had to.
People are singing your praises, and I agree with everything people are saying. I don't want to put the cart before the horse, but there's a lot of your portrayal, especially getting a lot of, and I know you know that. So how long did it take for you to get ready? Obviously, Tammy Faye known for her makeup. But how long did you actually sit in the chair to get ready to film some of the scenes?
It would depend every day. I mean, towards the end, when we did the very first test, that was like the full everything's on me. The 90s look. That the longest was 7.5 hours, which was a bit scary. I mean, I have someone took a video of me walking onto the set, and I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. I have literally no energy left. But for the most part, after that day, they got that down to like 4 hours. So we were able to go on, and I used that time. I took advantage of that time to give myself a really long runway before the camera started rolling. So I had like the longest prep before I actually like had to become her every day.
I think you've answered this somewhat, but I really want to touch on this because I think it gets people set up for this amazing film. How is history misunderstood Tammy Faye, or has history misunderstood Tammy Faye?
Well, it's interesting because we're coming into a time where we're re-examining women throughout history. There's a great podcast called You're Wrong About. And in that one, they go through like, okay, this is what we thought about this woman in history and this woman. And they do one about Tammy Faye. I listened to it after we made the film, and I was nervous listening to it, but I was like, okay, it's exactly the movie we made. I think the problem usually is that women throughout history have been connected almost subconsciously or unconsciously seen as parts or property of their husband. So if Tammy's husband was tried and convicted of a crime, and she was found guilty by association, not by the US government. Tammy was never charged with any crimes, but by the media. She was put in that. And also, I think it was so easy for people to judge Tammy because she was a woman who took up a lot of space in this world. And sometimes women have been punished for that. She had a large voice. She sang loudly. She preached loudly. She loved loudly. She wore these clothes that were crazy and fabulous. Her makeup was crazy and fabulous. And the media wanted to punish her for the way she presented herself because she wasn't small and demure, as I think in the past we've wanted women to be.
Jessica, you're going to get a standing ovation, I predict. Congratulations. I'll be cheering for you big and loud because it's just wonderful. Great to see you.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Incredible portrayal. I'll be honest with you. A lot of times I looked at the screen, I forgot it was you.
Oh,
like
good.
I saw both you and Jessica just completely transformed. So how long did it take you? We'll start there. His mannerisms, the preaching, the speaking, the appearance, how long did it take for you to get ready? The research and everything that you had to do?
Yeah, well, thank you. It was a lot. It was definitely a lot. There were a lot of elements to cover. Like, yeah, the accent was the first thing I started working on because I knew that would be the longest road because it's so specific and his voice is so specific. So I wanted to make sure that that was something that was humming along all the way through. I think I had about 2.5 months, maybe 3 months of preparation, where I really did just a really deep dive into Jim, watched lots of videos, read all the books, talked to as many people as would talk to me, and studied. And yeah, it began with a kind of imitation, but then it turned into something else, an interpretation, but he's so iconic, as is Tammy, that I think both me and Jessica felt we had to honor, who they were superficially, externally, physically, rhythmically, but then the real work was getting underneath and going, well, how did they become who they became, and how do we look deeper than the headlines and the scandals and the drama, and how do we get to who they were and how these things occurred? I think that was really the exciting excavation of these characters.
Something that I read, that you and Jessica both went to the church in North Carolina where Jim and Tammy Faye preached. What was that like? Did you just show up? Did they know you were going to be there? Wow. What was that like?
It was really soulful, actually. It used to be the site of Heritage USA that's no longer, and there's another evangelical church there we went Sunday services every Sunday while we were shooting, and it was quite beautiful. It was a really beautiful ritual that Jessica and I got to do together. And for the majority of the time, no one knew who we were, and we were just part of the congregation. It was very, very sweet. And there were some things that rubbed me the wrong way about it, and there are other things that were very beautiful, like all spiritualities, like all organized religion. And we ended up having really wonderful conversations with people there. We ended up meeting someone who used to work with Jim, and we would just walk around the site and try to absorb as much of the energy as possible, and pray to Jim and Tammy to help us, and give these characters as much depth and shape as possible, and so that we could do justice back at our church on the film set. And so yeah, it was cool to do that with Jess. Like, it was really fun to be able to have that as an extracurricular kind of ritual every Sunday. So yeah, it was fun. It was really fun.
Andrew, I just want to say before I leave, I can't wait for Tick Tick. And I like everybody else, can't wait. Would love to know if you had to drop your Spidey suit off at the cleaners, but you don't have to address that today. I'll just take that smile and that laugh right there, because everybody's talking about it. My friend, congratulations on the Tony. You won that since you and I last spoke. And seriously, it's so good to see you. And you should be really proud of this film, because it's just outstanding, like you are, my man.
Thank you, sir. Lovely to see you as always. I appreciate it. Thank you.